Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another race week. We are racing in China this week. The Chinese Grand Prix is this weekend. It's a sprint weekend and I thought we would go through my predictions for it. If anyone wants to see how I'm doing so far, you can go onto my page and find my video of my predictions for the first race of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, and also my reaction to those predictions after the Australian Grand Prix, which was posted earlier today, I believe. If I do my editing schedule right, it should have been earlier today or yesterday. I plan to do a predictions video before every race and a reaction to my predictions after every race, and seeing as it's not a race week next week, I plan to update my F1 journal and bring you guys along with that, flip through my F1 journal, show you how I do it, tell you where I got my inspiration from, mostly from Pinterest. So if that interests any of you, stick around for those videos and just let me know what Formula 1 videos you want me to do. I also plan to release some book videos, music videos, like videos reacting to music or diving into music, and maybe just some day in my life, reading, writing videos as well. So let me know what you want to see from me. And I also have another video lined up. I did predictions of the 2026 season in February. But I also made predictions for the Drive to Survive season, and obviously that's been out for a while, so I have reacted to my predictions and how right or wrong I was. I just haven't released that video yet, but look out for that because it should be coming at the end of this week or next week whenever I get around to editing it, so stay tuned for that. But I've gone pretty simple with my predictions this week. Let me know what kind of sections you want me to consistently do, because last week was a bit all over the place with the kind of predictions I did, just because we didn't really know how the regulations were going to look, how the races were going to look. So this week, especially because it's a sprint weekend, I've just gone pretty simple, easy predictions. But let me know if you want me to add any more fun categories in, any more like crazy predictions, and what you want those to look like, because I'm open to any suggestions by you guys. I want my videos to be things you enjoy to watch as well, as much as I enjoy making them and talking about Formula 1. I'm obviously not the most, I don't know the most about the mechanical stuff and all of that, but I think Formula 1 is a space where everyone can enjoy it, and I love talking about it, and I hope you guys love watching videos like this about it, and seeing what other people think is going to happen is something I've always found really interesting. But I will stop yapping and I will actually get into my predictions. So we'll start with a sprint. So for sprint pole, I said George Russell. Obviously, that's the easiest prediction anyone could ever make. But I think I didn't know. I knew Mercedes were going to be the fastest race car. I wasn't sure if they were going to be the fastest qualifying car, but I think they proved last weekend that they are. So I think they're going to be able to uphold that. Obviously, it's not like we've had a break between the races. Like, there's not much time for people to improve cars, so I think they're definitely going to hold on to the advantage, probably for the whole season, but at least for now. In case anybody else finds anything else later on in the season, they wouldn't have found it yet. So I reckon George will get the pole, but I reckon Charles Leclerc will get the sprint win. If he's able to do the kind of start he did at last week's race, obviously a sprint is a shorter distance, there shouldn't be any pit stops unless there's damage to the cars, which means there's no chance for Ferrari to mess up their strategy. So I think obviously Charles is an amazing driver. He's quite aggressive when he needs to be, but obviously in a good way, not in a you're kind of pushing the rules kind of way. So if he gets a good start and gets ahead of George like before and manages to keep that position, I think he could very much go on for a win. Obviously we know Ferrari won the China sprint. I do believe it was the China sprint. Please correct me if I'm wrong the China Sprint with Lewis Hamilton last year, so we know it's possible, and they're definitely the second fastest car this year, and they weren't last year, so I just think Charles can do it. And I hope he proves me right, because that would be really fun to see. And then they said second would be George Russell and third would be Kimi Antonelli. I think, yeah, a Mercedes 2-3, because they're still going to be strong, they're still going to be up there. I just think George can get ahead of them. And then I said for the sprint race, there'll be no safety car for ESC. I'm kind of hoping, because it's a shorter race distance, all of the cars will get through and there won't be any reliability issues. I do think, however, because it's a sprint weekend and we have racing on Saturday, that there'll be more reliability issues on Sunday, just because the cars are being pushed more, especially with teams like Cadillac, Aston Martin, and maybe even Red Bull. Hopefully they've fixed Isaac Hadjar's car, and I don't think Lando had like outright issues with his car, but obviously he had a bit of a rocky weekend, FP1, FP2, FP3, so I'm hoping he'll have a smoother weekend, but I feel like if he doesn't, again, that could lead to some reliability issues on Sunday's race. And if Oscar can't pick up his confidence from last weekend, obviously that's not going to cause reliability issues, but it could cause a crash. So I think we'll see a lot of action in the Sunday race because of it being a sprint weekend, but I am going to hedge a bet and say no safety car VSC for the sprint race on Saturday. I will be getting up to watch the sprint race, but I live in the UK, so it's 3 a.m. I was hoping Sky Sports were going to replay it before quali, but they're not going to replay it before quali, and I don't think I can watch quali live without getting spoilers for the sprint, so I might as well wake up and have a nap in between the sprint and quali, which is really annoying, but I would do anything for Formula 1. We already know this. My surprise prediction is that Aston Martin will race all of the laps within the sprint race. Obviously, it's a shorter format. I think they need the data. They obviously used the race as kind of another FP3 session last week, but I think hopefully that's given them data and they'll be able to finish a sprint race. Or this could be a totally wrong prediction and they'll take it the other way of using the sprint race as another FP3 session and to try to do the whole of the actual race, because that's where there's more chance of getting points, although I don't see them getting in the top 10 at all or close to it, but you never know. I've just said that they can finish the sprint race because it's a shorter race format, and I'm hoping at some point they're going to be able to race all the laps of some kind of racing format, because it's really sad to see. And I said Ollie Behrman will get points, which is kind of when I say points, I probably mean 1 point in P8, which is kind of a surprise prediction, because although Ollie was best of the rest in the Australian Grand Prix, to obviously points only go down to P8 in sprint races, and there's a clear top 4 teams, which obviously means there's a clear top 8 drivers, which means one of those 8 drivers will have to be out of the points for Ollie to be in it. And I've said there won't be any VSCs or crashes, so I'm not really sure who I think is going to be out of the points, but I've just predicted that Ollie will be in it, just in it, P8, 1 point. And I also believe he'll be in it for the race, but I've predicted him as a sprint race because that's a bit more surprising because the points only go down to P8. Then for the actual race, I've said pole again will be George Russell. But I've also said that he'll convert this to a win just because of pit stops. It's a longer format, which means Mercedes have more chance to get back if Ferrari do end up pipping them at the start, and Ferrari might have like a worse qualifying. You never know. I just think he'll win one of the races this weekend. I don't see him losing both of them, and if he does lose both of them, he will still at least be on the podium, I would reckon, because I don't really foresee the Mercedes having any reliability issues, and if George does crash, it will probably end up being with Charles. So then maybe we can get a Lewis or Kimi win, but I don't see them crashing because they're both very good racers. I think Charles is very good at not crashing. George can be a bit aggressive sometimes, but I think when it comes to a championship fight, he's not just going to run someone off the road like you might have done before. But yes, I said there will be a safety car or a VSC. I haven't predicted which one because it's really hard to tell. It's usually VSCs unless they can really help it. A lot of drivers know where to park now to make sure it's not a safety car, which is great. But obviously, sometimes you can't. Well, I said there will be just because it's a full race. It's still very early on in the season. New regulations, we're going to have reliability issues. And then I said surprise points will be Pierre Gasly. Alpine were a bit further off than I thought they would be. Coming in, I hoped Haas would be best of the rest, and they were. But I also thought Alpine were going to be very close to Haas, maybe a bit ahead of Haas. So maybe Australia is just kind of a bad circuit for them. I do believe if Pierre has the car under him, he's definitely going to get points. I really love Pierre as a driver, and I think if he was in like a Mercedes or something, he'd be doing amazing. So I do hope he gets some points. But those were my predictions. Obviously, I just went through like the easy categories, the kind of obvious categories to predict. So if anybody else has any other category ideas for me or any other video ideas for me, anything you want to see from me, I'm open to everything. But thank you so much for watching. Please stick around. We can react to this weekend's race together and go through the season together. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video. Bye bye.